Welcome to episode 11 of the Going Solo podcast, the weekly podcast for solopreneurs who want to make life and business work for them and not the other way around. I'm Dutkewich, corporate dropout turned business coach, and someone who learned the extremely hard way what it actually takes to run a successful solo business. Each week, I break down the real strategies, the mindset shifts, and yes, just a little bit of woo-woo to help you build a profitable business on your own terms. Because, my friends, it is not the market. It is not your toxic ex-boss, and it is not the algorithm. My goodness, please make it stop. It is not the algorithm. It is what is going on between your two ears. So today, I am incredibly excited to be talking about the secret coaching sales hack that we need now more than ever. And that is why connection is the new content. We've all been obsessed with content for so long, and it is time to put it down once and for all, because connection is the new content. And today we're going to be talking about how to use retreats to build your business. And I am so excited to be joined by my friend, the fabulous Evelyn Johnson. Evelyn, welcome.
Thank you so much, Jo. I'm really excited to be here on your podcast.
Very excited. So tell us about you.
Well, number one, I live in Spain. My background is music. My background is in music as a classical singer, but I have always been a lover of all things culture. So I started studying foreign languages at a pretty young age and had my first trip to Germany when I was 16. I lived actually in Germany for probably close to a year. And now I have been living in Spain for nearly 9 years. I would consider myself multi-passionate, and I've always been sort of a multi-professional. And I am now a solo entrepreneur myself, helping coaches to host epic retreats in Spain.
Not just any retreats, epic retreats.
Epic.
I love that. So where's home originally?
I'm from Minnesota.
In the States?
Yes.
You don't have an accent. Yeah,
well, my accent has been kind of, I don't know, something happened to it when I married a Mexican person and then moved to Spain and got all messed up.
I love the yeah. There was some German, there's some Deutsch coming through after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever I think of you, I always think kind of magnificent and epic, and I don't think you've mentioned what is it that led you to Europe. Why did you suddenly end up in Germany and Spain? You were on stage performing opera, were you?
Yeah, that's also part of it. So I studied opera at Indiana University Jacobs School of Music, and I was singing opera for some time in the US, and then I brought my music to Europe as well. That's why I'm in Barcelona right now doing some music, performing. So.
I love it. You're so humble. It's just like, oh, by the way, I'm in Barcelona, just recording some operatic music. Yes. So if you have not heard Evelyn sing, she is not a singer. She is a soprano operatic goddess. So when we do this, I'll actually link one of your videos singing because... Yes, I call myself a singer in the shower. I am not a singer. Evelyn is a singer. Fantastic. So I love that. I love that you were really drawn to the culture. So kind of how has sort of living in different countries in Germany and Spain, how has it shaped your view on sort of travel and human connection?
That's a great question. I think, the biggest piece there was when I came to Spain, because it was not the same feeling as when I went to Germany, because I had never even set foot in Spain, and then here I just up and moved here, and I found myself in a completely different culture that I did not recognize. And it was really hard
Hmm.
to adjust to that. But it was in that adjustment of like living and just being in a different culture and seeing that people do things differently and that's okay. And it wasn't just that it was like Spanish versus American culture. It was like just the way that they are versus the way I grew up in my family, how I am as an introvert, how I am just as a person, just was a total mismatch, in fact. and and like being impacted by that and learning to live with it really did call upon me to make a transformation. And so it was really through that cultural encounter and like living and being immersed in it that really invited me and allowed me to grow as a person. And I've experienced incredible personal growth living here in Spain.
Yes, I love that. And it's that kind of irony that kind of it's often not until we get away and immerse ourselves in something completely different that we actually find ourselves.
Yes.
I moved to Germany when I was just before my 23rd birthday, having never, not speaking a word of German, never been to Germany before, just like moved in. And it was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely
Yeah.
loved it. And I remember having I had dinner on my own for my 23rd birthday. I ate in a restaurant on my own, and I've never
Yes.
felt so grown up and confident in my entire life. And it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
oh, love it, love
Yeah.
it. And I think there's something about travel that does that in a way that
Yes.
being home doesn't. Um,
Absolutely. I remember
yes.
I took a solo trip when I was 23. No, 22. And looking back, like, why did my parents let me do this? But yeah, I had been with a group in Norway, with my choir in Norway. And then, like, I'm like, I'm just going to go solo for a week after that. And I went to Germany and Austria. And I was just like, hanging out like on
Yeah.
the trains. I didn't even have a cell phone, like
Those are the days.
yeah. And yes, it absolutely like did so much for my confidence. I just felt like here I am, like
Yes.
I've arrived,
Yes.
like I'm a person.
I'm a person. I'm a proper grown up. Fantastic.
Yes, yes,
And kind of that connection piece, because so you live with your family in Madrid.
yes. My husband and my two children.
Fantastic. And you've got family back in the US.
I do.
Okay. So how's that connection or divide impacted you?
Yeah, that's huge. So, um, I when in the first years when we were here, I made it back pretty frequently because I was going back also to perform. I was singing like in a festival every summer and stuff, and so I would see my family pretty regularly. But once we had our children, it became really, really difficult to get back, and so I just rarely see them, and it's huge. I have a really good relationship with my mother, and I miss her
Yes.
terribly. And I just like, I've become so much more aware of the fact that like seeing somebody on FaceTime or Zoom
Yes.
is just not the same. And I saw my mom for the last time, like, I guess about a year and a half ago. She came here for the first time. And I just like, I cannot tell you. I remember the feeling of hugging her in the airport. And that was just worth more than 1,000 hours on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
it's
love that.
huge.
It is. And your brother recently came to
Yes,
you.
he
Yes.
did. Yes. And that was so good. And, my brother is a really important person for me. Like, we get along really well. He's also like a very quiet, reserved introvert.
I
So
like him already.
we just like, yep, yep. We
Yep.
just share that energy. And yet he's a drummer, like he's a jazz drummer.
Yeah.
So he'll get
My
out
middle son is
and
a
rock it out.
major introvert. Yes.
So
Yes.
funny.
Yeah.
Um, and it was perfect. It was so good to
Mhm.
just be there and like in the presence of his energy and experience things that we just don't experience when I'm just texting the guy, or just talking to him on a FaceTime. It's just not the same.
No, no. And I think even for us who have introversion energy, kind of the kind of I love being able to work remotely. And even though I'm with people all day, it can be really, really lonely.
Yes.
Can be really, really lonely. So, and I'm not a hugger, but the when I do get to, I've noticed that since COVID, I'm actually hugging people far more than before
Yeah.
because I didn't realize quite how much we need it. I mean, we need, we literally need like 5 minutes of physical contact a day for our serotonin levels and stuff.
Yeah.
It feels like, 5 years ago, the world changed forever. Mental health is going down. People are stressed out. There's quite a lot going on in the world, particularly in the US. It's like, and it feels as though we're in this kind of connection crisis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you think that is showing up kind of post-COVID in people's lives and businesses?
Yeah. Yeah, such an important point. Yeah, so since COVID, I think about this a lot. Like, so COVID hits and we suddenly are all thrown on Zoom, and our children are all thrown into online school. And we were like horrified by it, like watching our children get stuck there, not being able to see their friends in person. And then they're stuck there on their phones, just, doing the social media and the texting and whatever it is. And we're like, gosh, we're just watching them and their mental health decline. And okay, and then they finally get back to school and it's great and fine. And then here we are, all of us adults, and we're like still choosing to be on Zoom, and doing our remote work all day long. And that's and of course, the same things are still happening to us, but somehow we accept it. I don't know.
Yes.
And it's tricky because, of course, like that technology allows us, and social media allows us to like find our people, like I can find somebody in Canada or in England who I really, really connect to as a person. And I want that person either to be my friend or to be my client. But then we shouldn't let it stop there, like that's only the first step and we can work with them. But then we have also the capability of bringing it to the next step. It just takes, travel, and that's it.
Yes, bit of planning.
Solves it.
Bit of planning.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of irony, isn't it, about we are kind of more connected than ever online, and we're more in more contact than ever, and yet we feel more disconnection than ever.
Yes.
And so why do you think that is, and what can we do about it?
Yeah.
Two huge questions.
Yeah. So this makes me think about there's this YouTuber that I really like. Well, I used to watch him. He's a productivity guru. And I came across a video of his once that was talking about relationships. And what is it about, like, these deep relationships that we have? Like, how can we get that? Because it was from a person who was living in New York, and they were like doing the grind thing and like busy all the time, and just wanting to be experiencing those closer relationships. And so this YouTuber guy was describing this study that showed like what factors are actually necessary for building strong relationships. Those kinds of like relationships where 2 years can pass and then you get with them again and you just pick it right back up, and that kind of thing. And of those five factors, they're all having to do with like things in person. So the first one was spending at least 4 hours together
Physically.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Another one was spending multiple days together. Another one was getting into perceived danger, which I think is cool.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, right?
And I like the fact it's just perceived, not real.
Right. Yeah, so people who get together and maybe they're doing like, those trust games or that kind of thing. And then, let's see, another one was like creating something together or doing like an activity. So like maybe, you're doing a play together, or you're doing, you're in a choir together, or you're making a quilt together, or whatever it is. And then the other one was moving through space. So taking a trip together, traveling, getting in the car and taking a road trip. So all of these things are like totally missing
Yes.
from the way we do business,
Mhm.
and the way, and business relationships are the same. We want them to be deep like that. We want them to
Yes.
be long lasting. We want them to be strong. And so we can apply those same rules, and so obviously we're not getting any of that when we keep it on Zoom.
No, absolutely. And we kind of almost forget how to be human because I see a lot of coaches like will come to me saying, nobody's buying anything. And I'll
Yeah,
start to look at, how they're communicating with people. And it's like they're just sending sales proposals to random people online who they just connected with. I'm like, what are you doing? It's the equivalent of turning up to a singles bar in a wedding dress saying marry me and
yeah,
then wondering why everybody's running the other way. I'm like, what are you doing?
this
You've,
happens to me a
you've like
lot.
forgotten how to be human almost. And I love that. And I
Yes.
love that perceived physical danger because when you were speaking, I actually met a lady about 12 years ago on an aeroplane from, I think it was Houston to Vancouver. And I noticed her because she was like really, really tall, like 6'5" or something.
Mm.
She had this newborn baby, and she couldn't go to the bathroom because she didn't know what to do with the baby. So I offered to hold the baby. I have a baby, so I offered to hold the baby. So I held the baby, and then after then there was like a smell of smoke in the cabin, and she was really, really nervous. And I worked for Rolls-Royce Aerospace, so I wasn't too worried. I knew it was probably somebody lighting up a cheeky
Yeah.
cigarette in the toilet, and she was really panicking. So I said, "Look, come and sit next to me." And we started talking. And 12 years later, having only met once on an airplane, like we speak once a week, like
Yeah,
we're on Facebook and stuff, like we're friends. So like that
that's
really,
huge.
because, and we always joke that we kind of dodged this. And the more we tell the story, the more dramatic the smoke got. But it's like that's so important that
Of
we
course.
we bonded for life, having shared that experience at 30,000 feet. I love
Yes.
that. And when I think of you, I think, well, magnificent opera singer and all that sort of things. But I always think that you are to retreats what a fabulous wedding planner is to weddings.
Exactly.
Is
That's
that about
exactly
right?
right.
Yes. So
Yeah.
kind of tell me a little bit about kind of what you do from a retreat point of view.
Yeah. So uh, I think there probably are a lot of coaches out there who would love to have a retreat, but
Yeah.
one of the reasons that's maybe keeping them from moving forward with it is that logistically it's a very big undertaking, because you're talking about people coming from multiple places. You need to have just the right lodging so that you feel safe and secure and good and welcome and warm. You need to have meeting spaces, and you need to have meals, and you need to have your client who has a peanut allergy taken care of, and
Mhm.
all of these different things, and transportation. The list goes on and on, and that's really big to do, and it's especially bigger to do if it's going to be an international retreat. And so that's the part that I come in and do. Like I'm right here in Madrid, and so if you're going to do a retreat in Madrid, like I want to know exactly what that place is that you're going to come into, so I will go there
Mhm.
myself and
Love
see
that.
it.
Yeah.
So it's a trust thing that like you just hand it over, and
Yeah.
I can get all of those things ready and taken care of.
I love that. And that's one of the reasons that you're hosting a retreat for me. And my clients in Madrid next year. And I think the thing that really appeals to me is getting off Zoom. I'm very grateful for Zoom and I'm about done. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
love it and I'm about done. And to be able to kind of meet with these people I've been working with for like a year, in person and kind of share that experience and build some war stories together and get into some good
Yes.
trouble. I just love that. And I love the fact that I because I haven't, as a coach, I'm a really busy coach, touch wood, very thankful. I don't have the capacity to do any logistics. The fact that all I have to do is turn up with my passports, bring my magic and my fabulous clients, and like, ta-da! So,
Yes, that's
oh,
exactly
so
right.
we're so excited, so excited. So I'm going to be doing like a 4-day retreat in Madrid. So what is it that those kind of 3 to 4 days having your clients together at retreats can do that kind of otherwise would take months on a Zoom call to achieve?
Yeah. Well, first of all, for you as coaches, you can earn more money. So,
Yay.
right? That's,
Yes.
you can, shrink that income into just those 3 or 4 days, because
Yeah.
what you're offering there is many hours of coaching. It's a really high value because you're in person. So that definitely comes at a higher cost. And, but for me, like, it's also the progress and the transformation for the client, because you're in, first of all, you're not in your home,
Yeah.
like, daily routine, so you're able to disconnect. I was just thinking about this today because I'm on a trip right now in Barcelona, and like, I can't tell you, like, the amount of, like, focus that I've had these
Mhm.
days that I'm not at home, because I'm just not thinking about all of those things that I have in front of me in my house. And so you're able to just be in the zone, and that kind of environment just, you just have so much more focus, and the transformation just goes faster. Okay,
Yes.
so it's like an immersive experience, an intensive experience.
Mhm.
It can just, like, really jumpstart all of that
Yeah.
work that would probably take you a whole month to complete otherwise.
Yes.
So it's
I
both
know.
of those things.
I love it. And I know for me, last year when I pivoted my business from sort of coaching people who worked in organizations to coaching solopreneurs, I made that decision at a retreat. And I live on an island. I went to another island to a retreat to make that decision. And it just felt, I think when we go away, it kind of allows ourselves to step into potentiality and opportunity that we don't consider when we're in the same four walls, and the kids are knocking at the door. And my mother, I was telling a client recently, my mother, God love her, she lives with us, and she had done a 1,000 piece jigsaw. And I coach clients all day, and she brought it in to show me on this jigsaw board. Like, and she doesn't realize, God love her. So, yes. So, I think going away to kind of find ourselves and what we really want and get that perspective, so
Yes.
powerful. So
Yes, it
powerful.
is.
Why do you think there's so many coaches kind of push back on doing a retreat, even though they're desperate for connection, they're desperate to get on off Zoom, they're probably desperate to make more money in a quicker, easier way,
Yeah.
and to get kind of deeper transformation with clients? Why do you think the resistance is there?
Uh, I think a lot of it has to do with that a retreat is seen as, like, a later stage, like when I'm more successful, when I have way more clients, when I'm making much more money.
Yeah.
So that's a big piece, which is not
Yes.
true. And then, the other part is a logistical thing too. That
Mhm.
it's a lot of time and effort to put something like that together. And that's, maybe not your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It's
Not
like
my
travel
wheelhouse.
logistics, right?
It's not my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I love that, and I think that's the biggest thing, because even when, and I'm a pretty successful coach, and even when I was talking to you about creating a retreat, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's a 2-year time job. But actually, what I found because I hadn't considered doing a retreat before I spoke with you, and like the potential of it just blew my mind. What was really interesting is, even when I haven't even officially advertised it, and I've just mentioned it to a few clients, like, they're all in. They've all like
Yeah.
saved the date. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I know, so it's like already it's paid for itself. And I know that when I start to advertise it, it will like It will bring in clients that not everybody wants to, shockingly, not everybody wants to work with me for 16 weeks straight on Zoom twice a week. Not
Right.
everybody wants to do that.
Yeah.
There are quite a few people that would love to get that push starts to their business in 4 days intensive. And I think for me, that's really attractive because I'm 47. I love what I do, but I'm almost at capacity hours wise.
Hmm.
And I'm one of the things I'm going to be doing is moving more retreats into my business model and cutting back on coaching hours.
Yes.
Because if I can make this more money in Madrid, some fabulous places, 10 weekends a year, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Well, and then you can take, you come to Madrid or wherever you go, and
yeah,
then you could say, "Oh, I'm going to take 3 more days and go to Seville or go to Paris,"
exactly.
you
Yes.
know.
You and I can do Barcelona. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get a train and go to Berlin and I'll show you my old stomping
Wonderful.
grounds. I love it. I love it. So I think I particularly so I help people particularly on LinkedIn to get coaching clients. And I think
Hmm.
one of the things that's happening at the moment is we are in a trust deficit because so many people are making so many promises. And I think this is where retreats really come in. So how is it that retreats help coaches and solopreneurs to build deeper trust and loyalty and attract even different clients without doing more? Because, like, for me, that is very attractive. So, how does that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah. Well, the nature of the retreat is um, they're going to see all of you, right? So, like, if, yeah,
Steady on, I'm British.
they get you, right? They just get everything because there's no screen to hide behind,
Yeah.
right? So that is trust to me.
I have
It's
to
like,
change my pajama bottoms.
so to me, if somebody is inviting me into their presence,
Yeah.
is asking me to make an investment to come and be with other like-minded people in a very special moment, in a very special place, that to me just speaks very highly of that coach and very
Yes.
highly of that coach's belief in themselves, in their ability to really give transformation and help their coaches or help their clients do what they need to do.
Mhm.
So like the fact that you're willing to go there and do that and be
Yes.
all of you in front of your clients, that speaks volumes to me.
It does. And that's how we build trust and long-term relationships. And I love that because it's one thing I always think of the role of a coach is to hold space for us
Yes.
allowed to kind of see our greatness. And it's one thing to hold space on Zoom, to hold physical space in person, like that's sacred stuff.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and in a sort of and to be doing that, to hold sacred space in a city of hundreds and hundreds of years of culture and history. I've got goosebumps. Culture and history and just oh yes,
Yes,
just
it's very
fabulous.
special.
Fabulous. And you do these retreats, so you do these retreats specifically in Madrid.
Yes, I
Yes.
do them specifically in Madrid. Now, in the future, I do have plans to expand that offering because, of course, there are other wonderful cities.
Yes.
Right now, Madrid is very close to me, and part of what I offer is the ability to basically be your concierge here as well.
Yep.
So,
And you
the
speak
client,
fluent Spanish
I do, yes, yes,
and German and everything else.
Catalan, and
Yes.
And so, I'm your first contact person, and I think that gives people a lot of peace of mind.
Yes.
And so, as I start to expand that offer, I'm going to include other cities in Spain as well as probably Italy and France. But yeah, right now the advantage of Madrid is that I'm right here
Yeah.
to welcome you and to be your
Mhm.
contact person and to go and see those places that you're going to be staying at and eating at, and
Yeah,
so that everything is really handpicked and curated.
exactly. And tell us a bit for people listening that might not know a lot about Madrid. Tell us a bit because Madrid's a special place. So tell us a bit about
Yeah.
Madrid. Yes.
Yeah. Well, gosh, what can I say about Madrid? It's the capital of Spain.
I'm not sure everybody knows that, but it's the people. I think people think it's Barcelona. Like Madrid
Yeah.
is the capital
Now,
of Spain. Yes.
yes, Madrid is the
Yeah.
capital of Spain. Now, interestingly, it wasn't always. It used to be Toledo, which I lived in for 6 years when I
Oh,
first came to Spain. But yes, Madrid is the capital of Spain, and it's a very big city. It's a very old city. It's the home of the Prado Museum. You can eat amazing food. You can go and have some great cocido madrileño, some jamón serrano, and drink your. It's not sangria here. It's tinto de verano, but it's like sangria.
Sangria adjacent.
Yeah, it's a very vibrant city. It's just really special.
I love that. When I think of Madrid, I always think this combination of high energy and kind of cosmopolitan and kind of
Yes.
this rich cultural. I mean, it's got some of the best museums in the world in Madrid. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, it's got some
Yeah.
serious art, and I love all that stuff.
Yeah. But
Um,
then there are interesting things too. When you walk downtown, you see things that are like it's like from the past, like several
mhm.
decades ago. Like I was a couple of weeks ago, just walking downtown, and I saw this old shop of like fabric shop, like a general store, and they had like little tiny like spools of thread and yarn
Yeah,
and stuff. It just looked like
buttons.
straight out of the 40s or something. Like, so
Yes,
it's just really fascinating.
yes. I like that. Good haberdashery. Nobody buys
Exactly.
buttons anymore.
Yeah, that's
Um,
it.
yes, and kind of, I'm a business coach, so I'm always looking for the show me the money piece. I'll be really honest with you. So what's kind of the return on investment when we host a retreat that kind of people don't talk enough about?
Well, the financial return on investment can be very big. As we were kind of talking about earlier, you can think about. Of course, there's travel components that need to be paid for and everything, and that's there. But people are there for the coaching, right? So
Yes.
that's the primary driver
Yeah.
here, and that's your offer, and you get to place your value on that. And you have to think about like the number of hours that you have there, and what that would represent over the course
Mhm.
of time. And so, you just think about your math there, and this is it's a high ticket
Yeah.
event.
Yes.
Um, but aside from that, to me, I think that another big thing is like the loyalty of that client.
Yeah.
So evidently, you're going to have at a retreat uh, an intensive jump start to whatever transformation you're seeking. But then after that, you're going to go away, and most likely at some point, you're going to need a little bit more help.
Yeah.
And you will have at that point really established that trust. And so there's not going to be coach hopping at that point. They're going to come to you.
Yes.
So that to me is a big piece too, is the loyalty.
I love that. Yes. Um, sorry, I'm doing my head now. I'm like quarterly retreats, quarterly retreats. Yes.
Every month.
I know. You can see that. I was like sick. You can see the wheels turning. You might have just sold four more next year, just to me.
Great.
Um,
Love it.
so what would you say to the coach who is retreat curious, more money in a few days than a month curious, but is kind of a bit scared to take the leap or unsure? What would you say to them?
Yeah. I would say that you have to trust. Okay, I think everybody's collective intuition is telling us right now that we have had enough of Zoom. Thank you very
I've
much.
had
You have
enough of
served us well, but we
this.
want to use that for what it needs to give us and come back to seeing people in person and feeling each other's energies right in front of us in the room. That is my intuition. That is the intuition of a lot of people I speak to. And I have seen it happen in other coaches who hold retreats, and it's like magic is happening, magic that we haven't felt in many years.
Yes.
We need to trust that people want that. I want it. I
Yes.
think you
I
want
have
it.
I have two clients that went on retreats with other coaches at the weekends. It was like a conference retreat in San Diego, and like they were moved. They
Yes.
were physically moved, and they are
Yes.
ingrained in this stuff. So
Yes.
yes,
So, and we need to trust that people want that and are willing to
yes,
pay for it.
yes,
So I would have no fear of putting that. On the contrary, I think it should be like a standard option,
yes. No, I agree.
for everybody's coaching package.
I'm so excited, and I've got clients that are coming to my retreat in Madrid next year who are already planning to tag on a. They're bringing the husbands, and they're going to be going to Italy afterwards, which is like,
Yeah, yeah.
how cool is that?
Perfect.
Because I think sometimes in North America at the moment, it feels pretty insular. The news is pretty hard to get away from. So I
Yes.
think it's such a great time. And I think we get stuck in that this is everything. And I think sometimes when
Yeah,
we take a step back and go, oh, there's other places in the world that don't feel quite like this at the moment,
exactly.
can be quite healthy and remind
Yes,
us
it
that
is.
maybe everything doesn't last forever and these things pass like a kidney stone, but they pass. Hashtag politics. Okay, so the question we all want to know is where can we find more? How can we work with you? Give us more.
Yes. Okay. I would love to hear from any of you. You can find me on LinkedIn. My DMs are open. I would love to have a connection request from you, and to hear about your dreams for your next retreat.
I love that. And you have a free masterclass coming up, do you?
Yes, I do.
Tell us
Yes,
about
I
that.
am preparing for that.
I will put that in the comments of wherever you're listening to this. But it's going
Yeah.
to be in May 2025.
Yes,
Yes, okay.
that's exactly right. Yeah, so I'll be
Excellent.
presenting how to earn more money in a few days than you do in a month with epic in-person retreats.
I love it. How to earn more money in a few days than you do in a month with an epic in-person retreat. I am in. I am signed up. If you are signed up, curious, I will put the notes and the links to the fabulous Evelyn here. Evelyn, it has been an absolute pleasure. You are making me crave Spanish foods. I am going to find some tapas. Thank you so much for coming.
It's been a pleasure, Joe.
And I look forward to seeing you in person
Me
in
too.
Madrid. All right. If you have enjoyed this episode, and I know you have, I would love a like or a share. Share it with a friend, help other people to find it. And until next time, just because you are going solo, it doesn't mean you're on your own. We've got you. Take care.